What happened to justice being blind? The goings on in Kentucky shall not stand. The pushback from the 45th administration on anti-racist training will not stand. Every aspect of the US of Hypocrisy does not acknowledge that dehumanization must end. It will not continue. Now, we can do this with our minds and our voices, or it'll be done through property damage, economic bankruptcies, and physical violence. The choice is up to the people in charge. The people who have let privilege elevate them and inoculate them to the reality that this country, this nation, does not give a damn about any citizen. And that every single thing that is happening in 2020 is part of a much larger picture of dysfunction that must be addressed. We must make the US of Hypocrisy humane for the first time. How we do that as decision-making adults is to get rid of all of the advertising-based knowledge in your brain that is erroneous. You are going to need to improve your 5-second attention span to have complex ideas such that we are all humans. Every single one of the 7.8 billion humans across the globe is suffering from the trauma of a viral pandemic that nobody in charge prepared for anywhere. Because while the health effects of this virus are fatal, and it's invisible, and our science is nowhere near not just vaccines, but we're not even spreading accurate public health information. Masks, okay, but the answer is far more robust if we make sure we're wearing gloves. This is how well-being philosophy, hashtag well-being philosophy, can help you add another layer of context. It's not so much that you're in jeopardy of being sneezed at by an infected person. It is much more likely that that infected person has sneezed on things that you're just picking up all the time, and then you're fiddling with your mask. It's human nature. You're putting this virus that you've picked up on any surface. Most surfaces, viruses continue to remain viable for 1 to 3 days. Plastic, cardboard, paper, steel, aluminum, all these surfaces. Somebody has sneezed on them, touched them after taking their mask off and using a tissue and sneezing themselves. It's not the active transmission. This would be a much, much, much more dire situation if the virus was transmitted in an airborne manner. It's being transmitted via surfaces. And in order to avoid that transmission, gloves are far more of an answer than I've heard anyone talk about. This is what happens when you use the power of life-centric thinking and philosophy to analyze what's going on and whether it makes any impactful sense or not. Now, I am raging mad that the death of Breonna Taylor has been basically dismissed. I stand for loving Black humans categorically. I stand for holding white privilege and the delusion of white supremacy utterly responsible, and that these false beliefs must be completely dismantled, and that most of the systems and structures underlying the functioning of the US of hypocrisy must be demolished and built again from a life-centric framework. I believe I have ideas and insights and strategies and heuristics to help everyone understand the complexity of being human, the diversity of experiences and expressions that all belong to the same species. If you're ready, willing, and able to use your intelligence to be part of the change, I'm asking you to become a very early supporter so that I can figure out how to get an audience and platform to start holding the US of hypocrisy accountable. It's not acceptable for this situation to continue much longer, because lives will be lost in battles that won't make any difference. This is an economic battle. Capitalism and racism were born as twins in the mid-1400s. Dr. Ibram X. Kendi has an incredibly great essay pinpointing Henry the Navigator of Portugal. As a philosopher, I also bring in alongside that in 1440, Gutenberg invented the printing press. Portugal needed a way to make money where they didn't have to go through Spain. They had ocean sailing ships, and they traded with Africa. And they created a heinous situation, transporting humans. Alongside that, they wrote down what they did to alleviate their own consciousnesses. And they had weapons and made what they wrote down laws. And then pointed to the laws in the book that were printed by the brand new printing press with their guns and said, do what we say or else. Then they took their ocean sailing ships and spread colonialization across this entire globe. We now must unite as internet-enabled humans who can see the humanity of anyone who has the electricity and the money to get online. And everyone across this globe, 7.8 billion humans, we're all wanting to love and be loved. We're all wanting a right livelihood. We're all wanting just to have the basics of clean air, water, adequate nutrition, shelter available to us so that we may pursue right livelihood. Now, I've said what I've said, and I'm not taking a single syllable back. This has been Deb in #redheaded She-Hulk mode, and I am ready, willing, and able to rage against systemic dehumanization. Do not continue making me angry, because I'm about to show that love conquers all.